Okay, are you ready? We are going to jump into module one, which is about list building. And if I look a little bit holographic, it's because I am using a green screen right now. I actually have a video where I talk about how to use a green screen in Zoom. So there's a green screen behind me, and I'm doing this because I want to be able to talk about the different stages that we go through. But today's video is going to be primarily focused on this list building part. So just to recap, at Virtual Launch Team, we teach 3 stages as far as getting your whole launch process done, the launch path, right? Stage number 1 is about list building. Stage number 2 is about nurturing and selling your first product, a low price product, for 2 reasons. One is to generate a little bit of revenue that offsets your advertising spend. And then number 2 reason is if somebody will spend even $1 with you, they are a really engaged and much more likely prospect as far as coming into buying your workshop or your webinar, and then ultimately buying your final course or membership. All right. So for today, pardon me, we're going to talk about specifically traffic and list building. So if you haven't already, what I would love for you to do is click the link on this page to download the list building document. And so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen. I'm recording this using Zoom. Now, I do have a studio and I do have fancy cameras and lights and all that stuff. Don't freak out. If you're creating your course or you're creating even your advertisements or whatever, just doing a Zoom video like this can be totally adequate for what you want to do. And if you want to do green screen or something, it can be just life-changing. All right. So you should have this document, Build Your List by Friday. And the reason for that, if you can still see the little thumbnail in here, is one of the things that we teach or offer at Virtual Launch Team is to put together your first list building environment to create the list that people are going to go into, the squeeze page, the lead magnet, delivering the lead magnet, and all of that stuff. And our promise to you is that we can do that very quickly. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make is simply not starting to build their list right away. This must be the first thing that you do. Now, I understand that you're an expert in something, all right? Whatever it is that you're planning to build your course around, that's your sweet spot, and you love to do it, and you know how to do it. And so it's super tempting for most people to go ahead and start building out their course, their membership environment, because that's what's so comfortable for you, right? Is like, okay, I know how to teach yoga. I know how to teach guitar. I know how to teach tennis. I know how to teach graphic design. Whatever your course is around, I know that you want to create that course. That's sexy. That's exciting for you because that's where you're going to be really, really helping people. But the tendency is to avoid building the list while you're building the course, right? Because for a lot of people that are starting out here, just building your list is daunting, scary, difficult, and it doesn't need to be that way. Now, what happens is if you build your course first, you spend weeks building out that course, and then when the course is ready, you don't have a list to sell to, all right? So do not fall into that trap. And I admit I fell into the same trap when I was getting started. That's why I can personally relate to this. But I promise you, you have to start building your list right away. So the essentials to building your list are these. Number 1, you're going to define your area of expertise, right? That's what your ultimate course or membership is going to be about, the thing that you're most comfortable with, right? Then after that, we're going to define your ideal avatar, your perfect client, right? Now, some people go the other way, and I think that's wrong. We say, okay, here's the client that I'm after, so I'm going to build a course for them. Okay, I understand the logic of that, and there is some truth to that process, but we're going to start at the end, decide who we're going to serve. That's not building your course, but what the course is going to be about. That's going to help us define who our ideal customer is. That's going to help us build our ideal lead magnet that we can offer that customer so that we can start advertising to that customer. Then we bring in some customers and we help them and we get some feedback from them. And that's going to help us create the ultimate course at the end that answers the questions that the customers are asking. All right. So define your area of expertise, define your ideal customer. Then we can create that lead magnet and the squeeze page to entice those customers. And then we can start creating the advertisements and the campaigns to attract the people to the squeeze page. By the way, it's called a squeeze page because we're kind of trying to squeeze their email address out of them. It might be nicer to just call it a landing page, right? So in this document that you have in front of you, we go through some steps, all right, to share with you effective steps to build your list by Friday. Building your list is the most critical piece when it comes to creating your online. And you can obviously read the document, right? Now, define the bigger purpose of your brand, all right? So in my example, my personal example, my main business is something called the ShareLingo Project. I help English and Spanish speakers get together and practice with each other. Now, the purpose of my brand is that when people are learning a second language, there's thousands of places for them to learn more words and phrases. There's all the apps on their phone. There's all the YouTube videos about how to learn Spanish, right? But the biggest barrier to learning another language is the confidence or the lack of confidence in reaching out to somebody to practice with. And it happens on both sides of the fence. So my sweet spot, my brand, my mission is about breaking down the barrier between two people, an English speaker and a Spanish speaker, so that they can find each other and then understand how to practice together. All right. So can you relate to that thing, that differentiation? In your area, there may be thousands of YouTube videos and thousands of resources for people to learn something about your niche. But what is it about your brand that is unique and different? Is it the structure that you use? Is it something that you developed yourself? But more importantly is, how can you help them, your customer, achieve something that nobody else is helping them with? All right. In my case, I'm helping people tackle that language practice problem, even though there are thousands of ways to learn the vocabulary. All right. So my purpose is to connect them. Now, my larger purpose is to connect cultures through language, right? So I have the purpose of my course, but then I have my own internal purpose that kind of drives my path, connecting cultures, people from different cultures, different races, religions, gender, whatever, can all be friends with each other. That's what drives me. It's what gets me up in the morning, right? So your ideal customer then, right, can come backwards from that. My ideal customer is people who are wanting to learn another language. They're already investing in that process, but I can help them achieve that goal quicker by eliminating that fear of how to find and practice with somebody. So think about, for you, what it is that you can help them with really quickly. I'm going to use this ShareLingo example throughout this course, all right? All right, now, so once I kind of understand my ideal customer, then I can define a lead magnet and put that onto a squeeze page or a landing page that has the opt-in form where they can put in their name and their email address. Don't overthink this. And what I mean is this. A lot of people, when they're trying to think about what lead magnet they're going to present, just have no idea, okay? And they get caught in either I've got nothing or I don't want to give away my best stuff, right? If I give away my best stuff, what are people going to buy from me in my main course? Well, that's not the right thinking, okay? So again, coming back to ShareLingo and helping people with English and Spanish. So what is it about my course that is so different to everything else that is on the internet? Well, for me, it's this. You can't bring two people together, an English speaker and a Spanish speaker, and say, okay, now you've met each other, just talk, right? They just stare at each other, you know, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? It doesn't work. So what is it from my main course that I can give people as a lead magnet? And so there's several things, all right? There's several pieces of my course that I can present as lead magnets, and we test them. But the number one thing that I like to provide is my ShareLingo method for how two people practice together. By providing that as a lead magnet, I can entice the people who already know they're learning Spanish, o para la gente que habla español, que sabe que están aprendiendo inglés, right? This is, by the way, how I learned Spanish and became fluent in Spanish. Okay, they know they want to meet people, but they don't know what to do to practice together. Well, I give them that. Now, clearly, that is the biggest, best, most important part of my course. Why would I give them that for free as a lead magnet? Well, trust me, even though I give them all of the steps in how to practice together, and I even describe the steps, it doesn't make them not want the end course. It actually makes them want the course more because they want, okay, they've gotten a really good taste for what I can provide. Now they want the full course to get all those other juicy details about how to practice together and all the other things that come with the course about everything, right, as far as language learning. So what I'm trying to tell you is when you're thinking about your lead magnet, think about your best stuff, all right? And as you can see in this document that you are looking at right now, this is not a one-page document. It took some effort for us to create this document for you, and you're getting it for free, all right? Now, why? Well, if you're going to bring somebody into your environment, into your funnel, by asking for their email address is valuable, right? Think about yourself. When you get hit with these advertisements on Facebook and you end up on a landing page and they're asking you to put in your email address, do you hesitate to hand over that email address? Of course you do. And so you have to really want what is being offered for you to exchange, for you to trade your email address with that marketer, all right? So when you came into my funnel, it was with a promise that I was going to give you something of value for free. And I hope I'm providing that. My goal is to help you understand how to get launched quickly, right? A lot of people take a year or 2 years to learn everything and do everything to get launched. We want to fast track that and get you making money as quickly as possible, right? So when you gave me your email address, you ended up in a sequence here in this Kartra funnel, which brought you to this membership where you're actually viewing all of these resources that we're making available to you. The video that you're watching right now, as well as the document that you're hopefully looking at along with me. So, the importance of understanding the value you offer, all right? The value you can offer is critical, and this is not simply finding something that you can do, anything that you can do. It's about knowing what excites you, because this is something that you can really convey well. It's whatever drives you and completes you, all right? So what you need to do now is use this document, these questions that we have on this page about thinking about your value and what it is that is going to be easiest and most comfortable and most exciting for you to present to your avatar, your ideal customer, right? Now, once you do that, believe it or not, that process of defining what you do and how you present it, that's going to lead to defining your ideal customer. My ideal customer, even though I do help beginners, my ideal customer is intermediate English and Spanish speakers that I can connect together to gain confidence speaking with each other. So yes, I think the whole world should learn a second language. But my ideal person is somebody who's already learning and feeling the frustration of not being able to speak. Okay? So your ideal customer is going to have a similar kind of mindset. They're already looking for something. They are already aware, probably, of the problem that they have, and they're looking for a solution, and you want to be that solution. All right? So we created a second part of this training here about creating your list to help you kind of, once you've identified what your sweet spot is as far as teaching, okay, help you identify who that person is that you can help the most. So do this exercise, right? Now, the lead magnet, all right, and the squeeze page opportunities, right? You know that it needs to be really irresistible, right? Because again, you're trying to coax the email address out of somebody. So it's time to create a squeeze page that you can collect those names. And one of the things you don't want to do is overthink your lead magnet or your squeeze page. All right? This process of lead magnet plus landing page is an iterative process. That means you create something and then you improve it. And more than likely, you're going to split test it. So you're going to create multiple ads, probably multiple lead magnets that you can test, and probably multiple landing pages with different headlines, different words in the headlines, different text on the headlines. You might have some landing pages where the opt-in form is on the page, and then try another one where the opt-in form is a pop-up after they click a button. See which one resonates most with your perfect client. But don't overthink it. Just start with your best thing. Create one thing by next Friday. Create one thing and get it running, and then you can measure and improve. So when you're thinking about creating that lead magnet, keep it simple, but just think about these kind of things. What is it? Where are they now? And where do they want to arrive? Right? How are you going to lead them to do that? So back to ShareLingo. Where they're at now is they're studying Spanish, and they want to be able to speak with more confidence, speak more fluently with native speakers. Well, I have a success path to take them from not being confident speaking to meeting native Spanish speakers and practicing together to gain confidence actually speaking to people. That's my path for their success. You have a similar path that you want to take people through. That's going to, and these questions are going to help you identify that path. All right. Okay. Now, once you have determined your beginning lead magnet and landing page, then and only then can you start advertising. Now, advertising can actually take a number of forms. The most common online advertising is going to be Facebook and Google ads, although there are lots of other opportunities like YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads, and all those types of things. You could actually put ads in newspapers if that works for you. You can also stand out in front of the local church or supermarket with actual physical flyers. That might be how you attract people into your online funnel. Totally valid, all right? Now, this talk wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about time versus money. And what I'm referencing here is that you have probably some limited resources. You either are limited by how much time you have or how much money you have. And for a lot of people, it's both. But one of those things outweighs the other. So money, if money's a problem, one of your temptations is going to be, I don't want to do any Facebook advertising because that costs money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cruise around the free Facebook groups, and I'm going to post messages and try and attract my perfect customer in the free Facebook groups. That is a valid strategy for connecting people, but it does take a lot of time. And so think about this, right? If you are working a day job and you're a mom or dad, and then you're trying to get into these groups to do all this Facebook stuff, that's your time. And you may not have a lot of time, and you may actually be taking away from your potential by spending that time doing that. Does that make sense? What is the value of your time? Are you a $100 an hour person, a $50 an hour person, a $10 an hour person, whatever it is, those hours that you spend cruising Facebook, write them down and try and figure out the value of your time that you're spending getting those free customers. And you may decide that spending $5 a day or $10 a day on Facebook ads to start doing this list is worth way more to you than the 4 or 5 hours that you need to spend trying to get the free traffic to your landing page. Just balance that out. Now, if you're retired and you have a steady income stream and you're sitting on a beach someplace and you're doing this whole launch thing just for just so you're not bored, well, then good for you. And you've got more time than money that you want to spend on this, perhaps. And go ahead, spend the time in the Facebook groups. Awesome. All right. Now, so think about, finally in this, think about your subscriber path, okay? We're going to do an advertisement someplace. In this document, you will hear us talk a lot about the networks that you're going to advertise on. Basically, that just means, are you going to do this in Facebook or Google Ads or LinkedIn? There are different criteria that help you determine where your best ad is. If you're trying to market to businesses, certainly it's going to be better to advertise on LinkedIn than it is on Facebook, right? If you're advertising to millennials or under, they don't use Facebook anymore, right? So there's no point in spending a lot of money trying to advertise to millennials on Facebook. You got to get into Instagram and Twitter and other advertising methods. But the path that people are going to go to, they're going to see your name someplace. They're going to see something about the problem that they have, and that if they click or they follow this ad, they're going to find a solution to that. And that's going to take them to your squeeze page where people get your lead magnet. From there, you're going to send them to a thank you page. And you did that when you joined this particular training, this workshop. You saw an ad someplace that made you aware of this. You went to my landing page and you saw something that said, okay, James, I'm interested in speeding up my launch and understanding this launch process better. I will trade my email address for your lead magnet. Now, for Virtual Launch Team, my lead magnet is this whole workshop. That's a lot of work that I'm giving you in order to show you that I know what I'm talking about and that I value you being here. All right? So don't skimp on your lead magnet. But that thank you page is the entry point for people to receive the lead magnet that you're promising, right? Okay, over the next couple of days, you're going to get some emails from me. You have been put into a sequence in Kartra where I have thought about what I want to present to you, and I want to nurture you. I want to tell you more about who I am and my values and why Virtual Launch Team is different than other consultants who might help people launch their products. I also want to give you an opportunity to ask questions. I want to invite you to be part of a Facebook group, for example. The point is, you're going to be in a nurture sequence. And so by following this sequence, the emails that you receive from me, the videos like this one that you can view from me, you're going to be in a position for you to start modeling your own launch after this one. Now, this is only a workshop. This is compressed. This is not my full membership. And you have not taken part in my full offer of a webinar or a PLF style full-blown 4-part launch. But you're getting the feel for what it takes to support your perfect avatar. All right. Now, once we nurture people a little bit, then we can ask for the first bit of money from those people. So in a few days, guess what? I'm going to offer you something that took a lot of time for me to create and fine tune, and I'm going to offer it to you for a really low price. And that's going to be the first product that I sell. And for those of you who purchase that tool that I'm going to offer you, that signifies that you are in this stage, and it's worth my time and my effort to continue telling you about the rest of what I have to offer. And for those of you who do not want to purchase this low-cost item that I will offer, I'm still going to offer you value, because even though the time might not be right for you right now, maybe it will be next year or sometime in the future. But I'm going to take those who purchase the low-cost item through one path and those who do not purchase through a different path. And that's called automation. In Kartra speak, that's I think they call it MAD, right? Which is marketing automation design. Basically, it's the idea of using automation to determine who has done what, who opened this email, who watched this video, who downloaded this document, and we can treat people differently depending on the actions that they take, so that we're giving our people the best value possible. Hopefully we're not boring them to death, and we can really fine-tune our whole sequence. All right? Okay. Now, that's it for the list building course. And again, you know, we have a full course, and there's a whole bunch of courses, $2,000 courses specifically designed for how to build a list. But I think these points are actually enough for you to get your first ad running, have that lead page ready for people to land on, and understand the lead magnet that you want to give people in exchange for signing up onto your list. All right. If you have any questions about this, put them in the comments, or visit the Facebook group and put them in the comments there. My team and I will be monitoring those questions and trying to respond as much as we can. All right, so tomorrow or sooner, you will be able to access the next part of this course. And that's where I'm going to be talking about the nurture and sell the first product sequence in a bit more detail. I know I touched on it a lot today, but tomorrow I will get into more detail, and there'll be a different handout for you to look for that. All right. So until then, I am James from Virtual Launch Team. And if you have any stress or overwhelm, please visit virtuallaunchteam.com, and maybe we can help you with that. All right. We're going to have some great bonuses coming up at the end of this training. All right. Take care. And until then, I'm James. Ciao for now.